like doing the terminal better. I think it's easier honestly than like messing around and like all I love that. Also that.
Someone else can do
Especially when you download stuff from the terminal. That is crazy. Awesome. John, did I show you the ways that
boots up on my computer? Did I show you that?
maybe?
Yeah, it is so satisfying.
Okay.
It's not. It's just cool.
You're supposed to say so satisfying.
It's
You're supposed to say so satisfying because that's how satisfying. Okay, so satisfying.
But maybe it's not.
Oh, question for you, Zach.
Yeah, I don't care.
Is there like
do I care? No.
university
Do I care?
sponsor of
Yeah.
website?
Huh?
So Engineers Without Borders is trying to not have to pay for the domain anymore.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a lot of cash. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the deadline for that passed. They had to, if they wanted to do funding requests, they had to do that like within the first 3 weeks of school, I'd say. So I don't think they open it up in the spring, so they might have to wait a full calendar year, but yeah.
Good to know.
Oh, yeah.
Since I now know that it comes back.
Well,
double
I'm not
pay.
paying for it. I'm just loaning my,
Yeah, they'll
credit
back pay
line.
you, right?
yes.
Because if they don't, I'd be like, stop, dude, stop. Seriously, I don't need pizza that bad.
So what's the interest
I mean,
on the loan? What's the interest? You could be that kind of loaner.
Untitled question.
I'm paid with experience.
Not that kind.
Oh. What kind of what? What are you talking about?
Imagination is a wild thing.
No, seriously, what do you mean?
All right, well, whatever you mean, let's not do that right now. If you've ever
Swipe it.
not wanted to use a crappy QR code downloader on the internet, there's a Python script that does it for you. It's my favorite thing.
Oh, does that just convert the link to like a QR code?
Mhm.
How does it like show why it's gonna show?
You're gonna
up?
ask me how it works? No idea.
No. I mean, like, how does it display it? Does it just show it in?
It just makes a J or PNG for it.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, cool. What are you laughing about? 4 eyes.
Just, I know you, so I know that was genuine, but you were just like, oh, like you couldn't care less.
Well, I could care more than less because
No,
I care.
I know you would.
Yeah, I know.
In addition to insulting yourself, you insulted about 90% of the room documents.
I know. I said it.
I mean, seriously, like, just look around. We're all visually.
Yeah, but I can see without my glasses, so.
I mean, I
We all
can
can.
as well, just.
No, you
not
can't.
very good.
Take them off and I become
You're blind as a bat without your glasses.
Now we have to trade all of our glasses around.
You have to use echolocation.
That's why I'm so loud.
Of all the things you guys.
That's why you
point at each other for, you weren't making fun of each other, you were nerding out about a QR code.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't nerding out. He was making fun of me for nerding out. But there are lots of things I could make fun of him for.
Not true.
Well, there's the one that you really like.
Not true.
You know exactly what I'm talking about too. We think about that.
I know what you're talking about. If you sit up straight.
All right.
You're my one reason why.
So this out
We're gonna
first.
step it up 12. I appreciate it. What'd you say?
Pull that out, please.
Oh.
That's your cost per piece.
I use a QR code. I still haven't figured that out.
Need a link.
That means I'll see it when you, oh my, I like clicking.
Yo.
Yo, I think you down astronomical. Message. I've invited you to fill out a form. Rule defaults. Totally neutral.
What would happen if I put someone else's ID? I would be.
I'd kick you out.
You would kick me out.
Yeah.
What if he put my ID and I put his ID? Do you track whose is whose?
Yeah, he has all our ideas.
I'd kick you both out and throw up your bottles at you.
What if I catch it in my mouth?
And you broke your jaw.
What if I am very delicate in the way that I catch it? I decelerate with the root beer bottle. Sorry, negative accelerate.
Why
decelerate.
never, how would you never do that?
Because you'd be throwing it.
Flying at his face. I think Newton has a couple.
Generally, the fight or flight, I would,
You would.
yes.
Can you give us the link?
There's a QR code.
Oh. I see
And
what
I
you were asking
randomly
for.
get in Slack.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
realize you put it down there. No. You saw me today.
Oh, yeah. How do I tell it to open the index.html?
Open.
I did open and it won't open.
Then type in your browser and
No, not that. I'm saying the actual website. Yeah. No, the one we're doing. Because you just opened it on your computer.
Yeah, we'll cover that in, when I'm done with this pizza.
I need to know now, right now. If I don't
This
know
instant.
in 4 seconds.
Well. Bet you gotta die.
I can arrange that. I know where he sleeps. No.
Is everybody good? Stop screwing around. Get to work.
I'm not here to work.
All right, so first thing I'm going to show you, we go back to our home directory. So open up your terminals, make them bigger. The home directory in your terminal is always tilde. Just changed it. And this is where you usually will start when you open up a new terminal. And it can be pretty convenient or annoying, also convenient to have all your folders like this and have things neatly organized. But when you want to jump right into your project, this can be a big mental barrier. You're like, well, do I really want to figure out the whole file path for it? So something you can do is make a symlink to it. And to do that, you just type ln-ls. And then you figure out the whole path name. But before we do that, we got to get to our folder that we want to go to. So I can go to documents in the ACM. And list out what's in here. Let's say I want to make, it's really annoying for me to always have to figure out where to go for demos. I can see in the demos, type pwd. This will give us our present working directory. Now we're just going to copy that. And now we're going to go back to our home directory. Is everybody following along? No? All right. Where am I lost yet?
I'm in JavaScript demos.
Okay. So we're going to make a symlink to that. Even if it's one folder deep, I still want to show this to you because as you get more into this, you will have many folders, I promise you. So if you're already in JavaScript demos, then you can just type pwd and that'll give you this.
I think I'm lost.
Where I lost you.
I don't know.
This is all we've done so far.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that's confusing here, I want to explain it to you.
This is. Crap, brain.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really explain what a home directory means. Basically, a lot of people haven't done this with their computers. I don't know how much experience y'all have with organizing your computer to make it look nice, easily find things. But in theory, if you want to do that, you should have a lot of nested folders. So let's say in documents, I can show you what I have right now. So it's a little bit of a side tangent, but it does matter for what we're talking about because it's how you would structure your like classes, like the courses you're actually taking here at UMB would be somewhat analogous to how you'd structure your software. So for example, I have a lot of files, especially with Zoom classes, I'm sure all you do too, with your classes. So I organized, instead of having just random crap in my UMB folder, I said, oh, what classes was I taking in spring of 2021 or fall of 2021? And then I made folders for each of those classes and then put everything that pertains to those classes within those folders. Yes.
When I like ls in my home directory, it does not show me like files on my computer, it only shows me stuff that I have created in the terminal.
I think that's what's.
Let me just download some.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, so right now, this is kind of thinking this way. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, we're kind of going over the basic.
I tried.
Like right now, we're just doing some jobs.
You did about that. Use your gaslight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't use it. I just been using
You could find that on free.
That's just like you've got. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we.
It's really-
We haven't really done anything yet.
It's a little inconvenient, but ultimately, I can help you after the meeting, but for what we're doing, it should
Yeah,
still
that's
function, that's fine.
All right. Understood. All right. Okay.
Yay.
So do people understand the directories? Your home directory is just the convenient place to start because everything down from there is stuff you'll actually work on. Everything up from there is up from your home directory. That lays out your operating system and different software packages, things that you probably shouldn't touch. That's why it's not in your home directory because you shouldn't usually mess with that unless you know what you're doing. Is this clear? Perfect. So now back to our home directory. We want to make a symlink. So we have our path copied. We're going to copy that into after our ln-s. I'm not sure how to move this up. Can people see down there?
Control L might clear the,
Yeah, I can clear it, but
oh,
so this is the path we want to make the link to, and then afterwards is what you want to type into the terminal, what you want to move. So this way you only have to type ~demos instead of this long nested folder path. You just run that, and now when you do ls, demos, it'll show up there because this is its own little file in a way. Doesn't really function as a file, but it is a file. You can delete it just like a file. Anyways, now we can go there just by typing that. And now we're still where we were before.
Is it copy everything or is it just link to it?
It's just a link.
Oh, that's cool.
Jeez. That's the one. If you see the out of that folder, you'll go back to your home directory. So just keep that in mind.
To navigate into it was tilde demos, but when I type that, it just tells me is a directory.
CD. Is it nested in anything? No.
Should be, I have nothing.
So it's in your home directory at the top level. Okay, that could be why.
I don't, whatever.
If it's inside a path, then it'll work fine. But
Okay.
how are we doing on Zoom? How you doing, Anders?
Doing good. I don't know Java, so I can't really like follow that much, but I'm here.
All right, we can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before.
Oh, I don't know Java, but I am kind of following along.
Okay, yeah, this is just I should be on that Zoom right now, so I can share my screen. We're just messing around with our terminal at the moment to make it a little kinder to us when we go to program.
Stuff you can do with a terminal, and you can't just like make new folders.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on that today. Up until this point, we absolutely did not need the terminal, but I think it's nice to get used to. Yeah, so this is all we've been messing around with. Ultimately, what we've done up to this point isn't integral to anything we've been working on, so I'm gonna move past it for now, but if you want to ask me about it afterwards, Anders, I'm more than happy to help you with it. So at this point, we want to be in our folder that we were in before. This should all look pretty familiar to you from before. Need it. Bigger monitor. Okay. So let's just go over what we have. This is what we had before. If you look into our CSS, if you roll a bit, you'll see that this light wasn't supposed to be yellow. We actually modified it so that it would become yellow. And when we touch this button, it doesn't do anything. Is everybody at this point?
Mine, I still can't open website.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'm in the right folder. If I type open index.html, it says bash open command not found.
Yeah, open's not on every computer, but if you just take your folder name and put it into your browser, like I have up here, it should work.
Okay.
Now you'll need to do file :// and then paste your PWD.
you do something with like the div and the border, because on mine, it's not really a big deal, but it's like, it cuts off light, like touch and turn, and then on light kind of has a line through it a little bit. Whereas like yours is like fully encapsulated.
Let's see.
Can you change what
Is this what you have for your CSS?
I have 60 height and width, they're both 60.
Sometimes your browser might just run things differently. All right, so at this point, we can clearly see our switch is not working, but we obviously be convenient if it did. So when we push this light, we want it to turn on. Can anybody think of something from a different programming language that you would do if you wanted to say, take a number, and when you type in something, it'll go to 1. When you type in the same thing, it'll go to 0. C++, Java, Python. What control structure should we use to make this work?
F.
If?
Like an
Switch.
Yep.
No.
Good idea though. If this was more complicated, switch would work for this. But so
Did you say you hate switches?
I do.
Yeah, they suck.
So at this point, we've got just a review here. Actually, someone want to explain what this code? Like, obviously, you know what it does, but what is this line doing?
defining the light. It's like the variable by like the ID that we defined earlier, that same object or whatever.
Yeah, we're grabbing this div here, and we're saying this light variable is that div. What about this? Perfect. If I'm going too slow, also, no. At this point, we're going to need to use a different type of action here. So we want to get our flipper. So remember, we're just, when we type this, we're going into the document, and the dots are saying we're going into the document. We're going to get an element by ID flipper. On this flipper, it'd be really convenient if there is a way, or when we click on it, it doesn't. Sorry, gotta pull my cheat sheet here. Now, flipper, there's a value on every document element that has an on-click attribute. Usually it's just set to do nothing, but we can actually change that to have it do stuff for us. What we're going to do is we're going to use a function that looks like, we're just going to comment that out for now. So we're going to define a function. Function swap. You all know what functions are, so it's going to take a parameter. Actually, it's not going to need any parameters. And what it's going to do before we want it to modify the light background color. But we'd also like the it to turn off the light. So what we can do, let's do this. Obviously, this isn't going to work. So like Jonathan said, we're going to need an if statement. So if, let's take this line again, go in there, and like with a lot of other languages, you gotta use double equals to make it equality rather than assignment. So within that, if the background is yellow, then when we click it, we want it to go to black. Else, yellow.
Would it matter else or else if, or it's just else?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, actually, if you did else if, you would need to define a new.
Okay. It's just because in some languages, like you can just have else ifs,
Hmm.
and then it doesn't.
You can have else ifs, but you need to define what the if would be. So you could, if you wanted to have it click through a bunch more colors, and you want to chain that with else ifs, that's totally cool.
Okay.
So now we need to tie this flip function to our filter. And it should work. Just like this. We'll see if it actually works out for us. Is everybody caught up with me?
Like call the function anywhere, or is it just good on its own?
Do you need to define it as a
Oh.
button first?
Hmm?
You need to set the div and all to button.
It doesn't need to be a button. Was that what your question was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need a semicolon after flip? I can see.
Yes.
The truth is
So
that
I changed it to lowercase c for on flip.
oh yeah. I think you're two. Oh, yep, you're 2 for 2 for debugging.
You're running again.
Now, this is wonderful, but what's wrong here? That is a problem that I don't know how to fix. But when we click it, it's always saying turn on the light. But that's obviously not what we want to do. So to do that, does anybody know what we should do? Carter.
Change the text so it says flip to toggle.
That would work fabulously.
I think that we go back to the original color.
Turn it back to what?
Black, so it's always off unless you click.
The text on the same on click.
So how are we gonna do that?
The if statement.
You say in the if statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my bad. I actually forgot. You don't know how to do this yet. To change text of things, you're going to need to access the inner HTML, and that's just stuff between the tags. And we're going to change that to That's fine when we want to turn it off, turn the turn off light. Obviously, I'm just gonna modify that a bit and then go to turn it on. Now we refresh. Our text changes for us.
So I don't understand how the flipper inner HTML works. Will you explain that again?
So just like with the document, the flipper HTML is saying go into the flipper. So it's finding the flipper here,
Mhm.
and then it's saying get me the stuff between the tags. All right. Now I have access to the stuff in the tags. And the equal is saying overwrite that with whatever I give you.
Okay, so the dot inner HTML isn't a, we didn't define that. That's just
No.
something, okay, that's what I was confused about.
That super confused me for a long time, so that was a great question.
I'm confused about my, oh, wait, never mind, the else doesn't have parentheses.
Yeah, most of this stuff that you do with web development, you will define your own classes, but a lot of times you'll be using other people's classes. And it's not like we just invented this. You have to know what you're doing before you go into it, or you have to know, I'd like to do this. And then you go ahead and look it up, and then you'll find it.
My flip is not, oh, on click is loading. Oh, that's the thing you
Mhm.
talked about earlier. wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's hard.
Now this, are people good?
Yeah, mine's not
It's not updating?
changing, yeah, and I've refreshed it a couple times.
Just come Carter. No worries. If that doesn't work, I'll just put this into Slack. Yeah, parentheses implies that you're calling the function. We don't actually want to use the function there. We just want to assign the function as a database. That's a good question. Yeah. Mhm.
Did you change the original div ID where it says touch to turn on light, the first one? Or is that still there?
This
Okay,
one.
no, that's still there.
What happens if you do put parentheses?
Can you do parentheses? Probably just won't work. Yeah. And you can actually, you do get errors with JavaScript. Okay, we're not getting them here, but if you open up your console like we did that one time, Control J or F12 or something.
No, not in the
I
SC.
did it a little bit differently, like in the div, I set the roll to a button and then did on click equals, like, quote, button toggle with parentheses quote, and that works.
Yeah.
So like, why does having parentheses there work, but not the other place? Because it's in the quotations.
That could be. Yeah. You're also not necessarily writing JavaScript there. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't like to do inline styling like that a ton because the inline styling is, if we wanted to make this div, I don't remember how this works. I don't use it ever. You know what I'm doing wrong?
No.
Okay. Basically, you can put CSS and JavaScript right in the element tag. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not generally used just because you usually have somebody working on your HTML and someone else working on your JavaScript. You want to separate your concerns, and this jumbles it up into a big mess like we have in our file here. We're going to separate this out in a bit. Right now, we're just going to keep it simple. A create edition.
There we go.
It's
I
working.
figured out the problem, instead of in the if statement, it was one equal sign, so like assignment rather than
Yeah, I did
equivalent.
that as well.
I did not notice that.
All right, so now everybody's working.
Scouring.
Alright.
You also have the second couple of cells.
It's not working.
Yeah,
I will paste it in the Slack.
it might have worked even without. I don't see what's is like. So how unforgiving is Java with semicolons? Like, if you leave them off, will it still work or will it not?
JavaScript. This isn't Java.
Oh, sorry.
It's important because they're totally different.
Okay.
This is JavaScript. This is CSS, and this is HTML. That will be.
What's the difference between Java and JavaScript?
Why do I
Oh,
have that?
very many.
Oh,
Java came first, and then JavaScript,
To take
the company that made JavaScript, wanted to hop on the Java bandwagon and just named the thing JavaScript, even though it had nothing to do with Java.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Java was one of the first programming languages that you could run it on anything. Other things you had to actually make it work on Windows or Mac or Linux, whatever. And Java just worked.
That sounds nice.
I think I can help people debug after too. Otherwise, we can move on to our next thing. We're going to make a to-do list. 707.
What?
Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna I'll show you what I've got going, and then if that's something you're interested in working on, we can find some time to do that later. But before we leave today, I want to get GitHub working for everybody and maybe get Node installed, but GitHub is most important. So that's something pretty easy you can do with everything you know right now. So that might actually be a good challenge. After we get GitHub working, I challenge you to get the to-do list working. You can look at tutorials, no shame in that, but try not to.
Does the title bar like function or is it just cosmetic?
The title.
Okay.
This doesn't communicate with the server or anything. So if we were to have all these going for us and refresh, it doesn't save state, it doesn't do anything like that. And that's the tool React. That'll help us keep our state. The state would just, it doesn't necessarily have to communicate with server, it just knows, oh, you've been on this website recently. This is what you've recently done. I'm going to keep you even though you don't have login credentials or anything. I just know based on your
Like cookies?
Yeah. We'll do that with React and not JavaScript. Well, React is a JavaScript library, but anyways.
And the light is just the same kind of light script is.
Yeah. Things look nicer, not because I spent time to figure that out. There's this CSS library called Bootstrap. That's we can cover some other time. Give you a lot of stylings, really, really professional looking stylings for free. And you just have to have a script at the top of your HTML file that says, oh, I want to use Bootstrap. And then it says, okay, I'm going to look up Bootstrap and throw it into your file. So I can show you quickly what that looks like here. So this looks pretty similar to what we had. Bootstrap thing. You just add this link to the top. And in the future, you'll be able to run this command, hopefully after today. Right now, you can't. Just gives you a lot of stuff, totally convenient, totally free. It's not a pricing plan or anything, it's all open source. So, anyways, GitHub. See my grades. Yeah. Uh, Let me follow a tutorial from one of my classes. I'm getting Git set up for real. We tried doing this in the past. Okay, yeah, we did try this. Anybody get Git working before?
Like I've had it working for like CS2, like just on my computer, just
Okay.
regular Git.
Yeah, not regular Git, Git and GitHub. GitHub.
I think I got an account made, but I didn't know how to like upload stuff and
I've never just,
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. That's why I bought these tutorials, because once you kind of get things like this going, you don't do it a lot. So. Does everybody have Git download? Anybody not? No? All right. I just go to this link here. Hit that on. And then I'm going to copy this link, throw it in Slack. That will get you going on SSH keys. I would just do a tutorial for that, but obviously I don't have Windows or Linux, so this will walk you through your own machine. How that works.
I think Mac and Linux have very similar
Yeah.
SSH stuff.
Honestly, when I looked this up, it looked different from when I did it last. And for things like this, you do want the most recently updated deal.
Yeah, that I do.
Basically, what this is going to do is make it so when you log in, there's no password taking place. There could be a password if you really want it, but it'll just tell based on, oh, this is this person, no password, and the password is actually more secure. Or having a password is less secure than just doing the secure shell type of deal. So we're going to work through this. If you have any questions, let me know. Can't guarantee I'll help you, but I can.
So for the GitHub, that's our school email, right? Because that's what's has the account or whatever link. Didn't you say something about like through the school or something, GitHub?
I guess we can follow along with what I did before. Apparently, I typed this out. I don't think this. Okay. You know what? Before we do this, we have to make GitHub accounts. you go to GitHub Human, you're gonna want to log in using your university credentials. So after you do that, then you can move on to this step.
Wasn't there something, was it just UMN with the GitHub account or something? Was that what it was? Cause wasn't, I remember there
Oh,
was
yeah,
something.
yeah, great point. GitHub.umn.edu. That's your website.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not even one. Oh, and then I think that even has my password remembered when I went in there, so that one just went.
You'll use the UMN one for all your classes, any personal projects. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using the schools, just because you might lose access to it in the future, and it's fun to look back on your previous projects. One nice thing about the schools, though, is that the private repositories I don't think are limited in their size. So public, on normal GitHub, you have to pay for private repositories, and the repositories are just a folder holding all your code for a certain project. And obviously, the bigger those get, the larger they are. It holds more memory. That can get expensive, so someone's got to pay for it. You use your school account, UMD pays for it.
So what's that Keegan thing if I got logged in?
This is for Windows. I put the link in Slack.
Okay.
Something important here. There will be a private and public key made. Do not list out your private key. That's for you. If you throw it out and around, you can get hacked. Don't do that.
Okay, so I made a password for it. What, do we just continue in the instruction?
On GitHub or
I'm just saying, I'm done with everything that's on the screen there. Keep going.
yeah, just keep going.
Okay.
You get shoot, sorry. You don't need to do that. You just need to generate your keys, and then this is what you're gonna run. Just clear. Hit bash.
Download Git. Just go to-
It's working. How you doing, Anders?
I'm still here.
Okay. This part, do you not have any access to your terminal?
I don't think so. I don't have it on my canvas.
Are you on Windows?
Yes.
Okay. This getting access to your terminal is pretty important for your whole computer science trajectory. So if you want to stay after, I can help you get that going. I might not be able to do everything that we covered today, but can at least get your terminal set up and maybe get going for you too.
All right.
This on Canvas, I don't expect anybody to have. I'm just pulling up an old tutorial from the class.
Oh, okay.
Trying to find where it's saved with the key.
Good question.
So where it says empty, enter passphrase, we should just do empty for no passphrase, right? Because you said that was like more secure.
It's not necessarily. You can throw passphrase in there. Do whatever you want. It's not in this case. It's usually if you didn't do a SSH keygen, then you would have to type the password without this. That would be less secure. And adding a password at this point would be more secure, but that's a personal preference. I don't have to.
Okay.
Save to my user. And it was saved as whatever. I think that's what it is.
What did you do? Oh, you did not save. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, when it starts using, telling you to put in the ss-add-k and then all the rest of the code. My computer was on the -k. And I told my computer to download it and it won't.
On this step. Or the
Um,
next.
Just kidding. I'm trying to do it on Mac and I don't have Mac. That's probably why that's
Okay.
okay. I just made it stupid.
Will it find it? Were you able to find the key? But you're in the back. What's your name? George.
I was just wondering what class that was.
Oh, that was software engineering. This was with Rich Macklin. So,
Yeah, I'll take that next semester.
okay. The tutorial from graphics is better than this, but we removed his class from Canvas. I asked him to send it to me, but he hasn't yet. So if we're still having troubles with this, I think he will. Not the type of person to hold it back, but once I get that, I can send that out. We're just working with this for now. All right, this is it. Is everybody caught up now? while we're waiting here. If you're ever wondering what command does in the terminal, one way you can do that is having man and then the command name. But this is a really terse documentation. It's still good, but not so handy.
Just noted I linked a reference to the Russian Orthodox Church in there. I'm not kidding you.
Why did it change to like at root and then my name and then like I'm doing stuff with like the sudo dash at dash h and then it's like this. It's like still,
Oh, now you are a different user. Wait, is this what it usually looks like this, right?
yeah.
Yeah, now you're in your super user. Don't stay there. You could, there's different roles on your computer.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, don't mess around with
things there. So I'm putting my name. Is the key the whole thing I've highlighted, or just what's in between the beginning and
the
ID?
whole thing.
So the whole thing is the password.
If we have problems, then it's not, but I'm pretty sure I remember thinking, this is weird.
Yeah, because it seems weird to include spaces in the password. So
I think they do that just to make it convenient.
No, I guess it's
actually- You're gonna want to run these commands.
just those two.
I'm gonna double check to make sure we. I hate to keep double backing myself, but I think maybe you are supposed to go through this whole tutorial. I'm sorry, it's been a really long time since I've done this. Like I said, I didn't follow this tutorial, so.
I've been going through it, and it says in the upper right hand corner of any page with your profile photo, that's saying like in like GitHub desktop.
Yeah.
in what?
Right here, like in your GitHub.
Not on the desktop app.
I didn't even know they had an app.
Chrome, like in the Chrome. I was like, well, I don't have a profile picture. So I had no idea how to get there. Will you show the commands we're supposed to type?
Commands for.
After we have the key.
Oh, yeah. I think you have to keep going. That was
Mine just
just ends.
like the ones to get that you said. They're not on this page. I'm done with this page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are the ones I was talking about. Sorry.
No worries.
I never asked for you.
If you. This is just you setting. I don't think this really matters. If we skip this stuff.
It didn't give me any feedback when I typed in the first one.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you feedback.
I'm pretty sure
But
this
it worked.
This is just
If it didn't, it would tell me.
Yeah.
for your like
Because that's
setting
what-
up your account.
I was also concerned when I first did it for class that it didn't feedback anything, but it doesn't.
I guess, yeah, you probably should do this for your future classes. It doesn't matter for us, but it will matter for classes.
So
Yeah, if you're taking CS2, well, usually, you have to do it in Janus, because usually they have you work in Janus. I like working it remotely than uploading it to Janus,
Mhm.
because for
Yeah.
using Emacs, it's way more like so much better.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. So I like did the get on here. Well, I had to also do it on Janus, but
Do you need, God, what is my brain doing today?
All right.
Quotations around the email?
Yep.
You do.
how do you add your key it has a tutorial here, but key to the GitHub server? Because I did the thing and it made like a pub file or something.
Yeah,
With
go to,
like-
you should, if there's like a command that tells you to run, and then that'll copy it to your clipboard. Then you can click on
It
your
did give me
profile.
a command for that.
There you are.
Did you click on that little tutorial link that it had?
I did not.
You should click on that. and follow
Okay. I didn't know if there was a more succinct way.
that. Or I mean, you could open it in the text then.
It's 7:30, so if you want to leave, I won't be heartbroken, but you want to stay, I'll keep going on Git because I think it's important.
So now that we've added that key, what is that? Is it just more security to your account?
The key, have you heard of encryption?
Yeah.
It's basically just saying if we can establish an encrypted communication line between your computer and GitHub,
Mhm.
then that's as good as a password.
Okay. And then how do we see the school's repository?
The school doesn't necessarily have a repository. It's just for you. Your professors will have repositories and you can find them. I haven't really looked around on it too much, but this is the security professor. Right? Right here. So there will be professors that'll have their own accounts and they'll share their repositories with you.
Oh, okay.
And then you also share your repositories with them. For example, with my graphics project. And then you can add collaborators. And if any of you work on group projects in here, specifically the software and web and the game dev, you'll probably end up on GitHub and you'll have collaborators on projects. So yeah, this is graphics. Anyways. Also, on GitHub, it gives you a nice little calendar here in the year, so it shows when you've been active, when you've been pushing code up. GitHub is basically like Google Drive for your code. You can have a backup of it somewhere else, and then the GitHub stores the stuff, and Git allows you to remember edits that you've made in the past. Everybody familiar with Git or not? Think of it like, if you ever go to Google Drive, you can actually see previous edits that you made to your documents. That's what GitHub does too. It's just more convenient. You'll see why. A little bit.
So after we add the SSH key to GitHub, is that like all that there is then? Or
There's one more thing I want to do. I want to make sure everybody can get to a common repository so we can share our work over the wall break. If you want to do work, if you don't, no harm. Totally get that.
John, I memorized your key. You have to make another one.
Public one.
It doesn't matter how I memorize it. I use it to de-encrypt the other one. They're probably not related at all.
They are related.
Good. I was just trying to redirect you.
Good instincts. All right. We're going to try connecting to ACM web practice once again.
I think I downloaded that at one point, like
You did get it?
because I don't know if it's updated with stuff, but I did download it, the contents of ACM web practice. And then all it has is a readme.
Yes, you did it right.
Okay.
And we'll show you how to upload files to it. For now, go ahead and actually the way I had you do it before. You know what I'm looking for, Victor? Anyone? Okay. This is something else I haven't had a lot of experience with collaborating. I know you can do it. Should have prepared for this, but apologies.
So is the goal to just have everybody like with their own work on the repository like separately then?
Yeah.
You can separately just like make a folder in your repository,
Yeah,
like not have to deal with the collaboration stuff. Just like,
well, they'll have, yeah, I guess you could make your own repository.
or just like your own folders within the repository.
Well, I'm trying to remember how the pushing and pulling works.
Well, first you got to clone it.
Yeah. I'll resend the link to.
What's the manual thing? What does that do?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Like I saw a man in your,
Oh.
I saw a man.
That just lets you, it gives you more information on commands that you are confused about, like man CD. And man just stands for manual.
maybe, because I know that's how it works with like Python, but I typed man cal just to see what it did. No manual entry for cal is what it said to me.
It might not be updated for you. The main reason I was bringing that up is if you look up, I'm not going to help you download this, you can figure that out on your own, but if you look up TLDR, if you saw man CD, that's a pretty simple command, but it gives you a ton of stuff here. And it's good to know this stuff because maybe you want to use it, but generally speaking, that's not true. If you download TLDR, you can type TLDR CD, and it'll just give you the most likely to be relevant shortcuts. Here. This gives you all the wisdom of the man page, not all of it, but most of the useful stuff in a few lines.
Also, I think that for me, I think it's man doc is what. I
Oh.
need, maybe
That's very possible.
just because I'm.
Okay,
Mine
anyways.
opened a bunch of stuff about Easter when I did the man.com. I'm serious.
Yeah, I don't know what their
Julian
obsession with Easter is. but-
Julian calendar, Easter's, download a specified month. What?
You try and find
So-
a Russian Orthodox church.
All right, so what we're gonna do with GitHub, we're
Yeah, I
gonna
see
git
that.
clone and then paste that link
No.
I put into the Slack.
You can also, like, if you're on that page, like, you get to your page and you click like the little drop down at the bottom, you can hit the copy little thing in that. That same thing. Like you type git clone in that.
Oh, yeah. Total. It should just be up here. Then you run that. You run that where you want you yourself to be working on things. Put it into an empty directory. It's going to make a new directory, so
Actually, I think for me, it's just help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because man doc was something else.
So yeah, then you'll CD into that. Filter. If we did our SSH correctly, it should work for us. And then we're going to go in and
Asking for a username.
Hmm?
Asking for a username.
type in your UMD username and your UMD password.
Great.
So you should be able to change directories into ACM Web Practice now. And then you're going to make your own directory. You're only going to need to know a few commands. The one is git add. That you just like git add, and then you add whatever file or folder you want to be added to the directory. If you're working in VS Code, then that will be right here. And make a README file or make an index.html for your own.
So you were saying like the code dot is like, how do you do it? How do we do that same thing?
I just type code on my computer. And it does the same
Yeah,
thing.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I can help you with that later.
Like if we haven't done that, does the touch not work then? Or should I-
Touch also might not work depending. Some of these are Mac and Unix/Linux commands, so you might not get them to work with WSL.
We're gonna do it manually for VS Code.
Yeah, if you just open up VS Code and hit open, and then
It's like not on
yeah,
there.
I got you. I'll show you this way to do it first, and then we'll do this after. So if you type git status, this will show you things that well, for what it's worth. This right here is a file that is not being tracked. So this right here, you can make edits to it all you want, but it's not updating on the website. You see, I might have added that folder, but GitHub doesn't know. So we want to make sure they know. So we have to add our folder. And now if we do git status, it'll see, oh, changes to be committed. So this is saying, yep, we're following this file now. And when you're ready to send it up to GitHub, we'll let you do that. So at this point, you type git commit -m, and the -m is for message. And you can say new folder for, make these descriptive because this is a shared thing. Doesn't have to be super long, just, don't write test because there's gonna be a lot of tests if everybody does that. So now to be committed, and okay. And to finally actually get it to GitHub, you have to push it up. See if that worked. Yes. All right. So to restate these steps, the status, and just make sure that you're not committing nothing or committing things you don't want to commit. Git add stages it so that all these files will be committed when you run git commit. You can have multiple commits going, so the commit just updates your local Git repository, so you can go back to your previous changes you made that might not necessarily be tracked on GitHub, but they are tracked on your computer, like with CS2. And then git push origin master. This is saying push all of my my most recent commits up to from the origin branch. To be honest, I don't really understand fully how this command works, but the master that is sending it up to the master branch. The master is there's different branching that you can do on GitHub. Don't worry about it right now. Just know that's the command you have to run. Don't really think about it. Just just send it.
Mine was the status the first time, it just said your branch is up to date with Origin master nothing but commit book frequently.
Yes, that'll happen unless you add stuff.
Yeah, so like I did like the git app, and
You have to
then, am I supposed to not be CD to do it? Or am I supposed to be CD?
see when I type ls.
Yep.
There is a folder that I created. It should just be readme unless you add stuff. Did you add a folder? Hold on.
Zach, so when I try and clone
Yeah.
a repository, it needs me to sign in, and no matter what I put, it won't let me sign in. I check to make sure the password's right, so. And I went back and I checked, maybe I didn't put my key in right, and the key was gone, so I put it in there again, and now it's staying in it. I don't know.
Wasn't there something wonky with the password that we had to put in, like something unintuitive or different? Because I thought that's what I remember the first time when you were saying something, is like the password was like slightly different.
Or is it not my GitHub password? Is it something else?
I could definitely get password login, right?
Huh?
For GitHub. At least when I'm using GitHub, I have to actually use the key. Is that what you're doing?
No. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll try that.
Yeah, you just put that in for your password.
Well, maybe that.
Thank you.
I want to like look and see where I'm at, 'cause I don't know where I'm
Yeah, no.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
This is a brain melter for me, right?
If you need help, there's a help channel on Slack, and there are definitely people that know this way better than me. So
We'll do.
get this figured out before next meeting because this is actually
Yeah,
important for your
I'll
class.
figure out more. I'm staying up here this weekend, so no
right.
one else is here. Got nothing better to do.
I'm still down.
I can't. This was the
Victor, is there a specific idea I should be using?
See, actually,
Victor, so for the key, is there a specific username it's expecting too? Because I'm using my username. And
Yeah,
it's still-
you use your username and then. Okay, so did you go into GitHub security settings?
Yeah, so
Okay.
here, there's my key that I have.
Right, yeah.
And that I copied that exactly how it is and put it into, see how many times I've tried.
Yeah, it's
So-
not working.
If I do it, here's my username.
13%.
And then
So make it a folder
to paste it, it doesn't show up, but it's not working.
I see.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, go into the folder. See.
Are you having trouble?
Yeah. Because I'm at the point where it's the push order.
Mm. My terminal, if you do control V, doesn't face anything.
It's control shift V for me.
I see. Maybe that's what it is. for me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And I was actually unintentionally gaslighting you. You were like, why did you press control C? Because I did press control C to try and copy something, which doesn't work in a terminal.
Yeah, it's control shift C probably.
Yeah, honestly, I was using a different, like an Option 0 key. Let me look this up.
See, I thought I remember the first time there was, you know what, let me go back into the Slack and see if it's in there. I remember like, we were like password like. Troubleshooting.
And then get. Space. Space. And just like. I had it, yeah, I was only punching.
Well, there's another way you can do it, I think.
Okay.
involves generating a different key.
Epic.
All right, can I see that again?
Yeah.
All right, so basically,
Well, yeah, actually, I want to see. let me
Yeah,
come
I
out.
also
Yeah, sure.
do.
Because I'm also gonna, when I get home, do this on my home PC,
right.
because I don't want to work on a frickin' Chromebook.
That's totally fair, yeah. So. Here, I should leave developer settings. I was using personal access to just. Okay, so you want to generate it. Set the expiration. Say every day's brand new list, in case we will do something.
Mhm.
And scopes, I check all things that I'm supposed to. That's just the option, right?
Said I got permission denied.
Are you in the Slack? So I can,
Yeah.
if I mess this up, I can be in, you'll be like,
Yeah, definitely.
Victor.
And generate it. Okay, that's cool.
Yes, I never.
Why is that?
I don't know. This is that's- Oh, can't be fun. Okay, so.
Just, is it just like Chris's notebook? Or Chris's box?
You're stealing mine.
Oh, yeah, that's, I was gonna say, we're selecting all that.
All right, so with this, it'll disappear after this. You're gonna wanna like put it in a file, like a text file or like
Okay.
a Google Doc or something.
Like if I refresh the page, it's gone.
Yeah,
I'll just generate another one, like that.
then you wanna delete this one. Here.
And then
You guys should try to follow that.
So will that work for pushing the order master? Just putting your username and then put in that access key? Well.
Still doesn't work.
All right, I guess, I do need to add you all as collaborators, so if you're heading out, just send me your username. On Slack, you just DM it to me, and then I'll add you as collaborator, and then Git push origin master should work.
So
It won't work right now.
I'm on the step where. I'm literally just trying to make, trying to get into it.
Right.
What was your username? I'll use you as a test.
All I know that.
Hmm?
I'm doing
I
is
sent it
setting
to
up.
Slack.
Thank you.
Is it something on my end or?
I have no clue. This just works for me.
Perfect. Now try.
Is there a way for
Try
me
it.
to try and sign into GitHub using a key instead of a password normally, like outside of terminal?
Try putting it in email.
Says updates were rejected because the remote contains work that you do not have locally. This is usually caused by
Oh,
another.
Okay, so you're gonna have to pull first, then do a like a thing.
So
Yeah, I do
Git
the
pull
same token
origin
thing. It
master.
says fatal, unable to access this, the requested URL returned to 0403.
You have the right URL?
Yeah, it's from the one that I cloned. Maybe I have to re-clone it or
Yeah,
something.
try it
Try
again.
using something other
It
than.
says remote permission to you, practice get denied to me.
Yeah, I need your username. That's what I was saying, you guys.
Oh, okay. SOELL003 is mine.
What am I entering for a commit message to explain why this
LL.
merge is necessary?
Yeah, right there.
What are you saying, Sam?
What am I, it says, please enter a commit message to explain why this merge is
Yep.
necessary.
Yeah, git commit -m. Always add a message. That's why I was saying, don't just write test.
Yeah.
It can be generic, like you want to say added index.html, totally fine. Just have some context there and don't
So I'm guessing you
don't
did,
put anything
part where you
inappropriate or stupid on
set
there,
your-
because then
That's
you
what
will
I'm
lose
looking at
access to
right now.
this.
I think I did that originally when I signed up.
So
Did you
when
do,
it pulled, it like pulled up a whole new thing on.
I don't know how to check.
So what ended up being a problem with the polling? Because I had the
Let's try it
same
again.
thing where it
Let's try it
said like problem pushing or whatever.
Well, no, I just did get pull origin master, and then this happened.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is new.
So you're in Vim right now.
Oh, users and yes.
Well, no, you want to actually put it in dash in.
For
Wait,
user.email. No, that's
Oh,
what I
right, no.
did wrong at first.
So
But
that,
when you merge branches, it'll say, oh, there's some merge conflicts there. Which I said over here.
Yeah.
Whenever I
This
type
is
anything,
why
I just
I
flashes a
this
blank.
feature.
This one. And I can't go down below the comments.
I did this and nothing came in.
Oh,
Yeah.
usually
does it.
like I said,
But your name.
Well, we don't want to do password. I think it's
also-
password.
What does that mean?
Have you tried using your password for doing this with GitHub? For some reason, they don't let you use it anymore.
Okay, so then what
That's
should
what I
I
mean,
do?
it's not intuitive.
Oh, let's just try it again.
And like escape lets you actually, if you want to leave after you type your message, I'm gonna type the message. Cool.
Oh,
And you add it. Add it to the station. This is why you want to do application.
so how do I, so I figured out how to get it because he added me as a collaborator. But now it says, rejected error, failed to push some refs to this. How do I fix that? Because that's like something about polling, I thought I heard, like,
Yeah, first you're gonna just git pull.
so just get poll, or do I have to specify?
Yeah, just git pull.
And then, okay.
It's not good. We're able to log in.
Yeah, once he added me as like a collaborator, I think that was the only thing, was that I wasn't as a collaborator.
Did it
on
keep
the
just saying authentication failed though?
What did it say for me? It said, remote permission to this denied.
How did you get around authentication failed?
I don't think I ever had that specific.
Invalid user.
I was putting in the right information, I just didn't have permission.
Okay.
I want to see.
There you go. Cool.
So then,
I
like,
forgot what I had to do last time. This time use quotation marks.
Wait, go to
Just
the
type get
generated keys. If it's going
Dash
again,
out.
there's something wrong.
Put it in quotation
yeah,
marks.
I
In the
didn't,
same line.
I didn't even do that yet. I just did a
Okay.
poll and it brought me there. When I pulled, it brought me there. That's why,
When you did your initial to
Supposed
this,
to be there.
yep,
did you have,
yeah.
oh. Of course.
Wait, why does it put me in nano when I pull?
That's convenient. That's good. It's not him. It's not good.
I'm gonna try doing this
So
myself.
now that I did that, should I try? and-
Okay.